Hi, I'm Mark Butcher and I'm the brand director for Mark Alexander. Welcome to the set of our photo shoot for the 2020 launch, which is on location in Zante. I think the photo shoot for us is probably the most exciting time of the year. There are so many strands that make up a collection, and this is the very first time we see all those strands come together. The launch marks 10 years of Mark Alexander, and I think in that time we've built up a reputation for understated design, rich textures, for artisanal craft, and for natural fabrics that have a distinctive aesthetic that transcends fashion. The wall coverings have been quite a long time coming. Corinne, one of my designers, has been working on them for probably about 2 years, developing our ideas for texture, for techniques. And we're really very proud of them, and we're excited by the launch because we feel it absolutely captures the Mark Alexander aesthetic perfectly. They are crafted by hand. They have rich organic texture, and we've already seen on the shoot that they bring this beautiful patina to the room. So what we've tried to do is to create wall coverings that not only provide a decorative layer, but that work intrinsically with the architecture of the space. They subdivide into 3 collections. We have grass cloth, paper weave, and collage. Grass cloth describes a range of botanical fibres that are hand woven, which looks like this, and then they're laminated onto a paper or a non-woven backing. They're natural and they're sustainable, and depending on the type of fibre, they're beautifully diverse. I think the other beautiful aspect of grass cloth is that the natural variation that you get across the botanical fibres, and therefore from roll to roll, means you end up with this fantastic panel effect in a room. Abaca is from the banana palm, which is native to the Philippines, and it offers beautifully silky strands which are then hand woven to create a very refined wall covering with a natural, gentle sheen. Sisal has beautifully meandering strands that we've dyed in a subtle and natural palette to create a wall covering of lustrous texture. Sisal is a natural fibre of the agave family, which traditionally is used in making twine. We've used specially selected strands of sisal which are more appropriate for the fine nature of our wall coverings. The natural tones of hand-woven raffia, which is from the raffia palm tree, are colour washed to intensify the rich organic texture of this naturally beautiful wall covering. A particular favourite of mine is the seagrass, where twists of seagrass provide a natural coloured accent to colour-washed sisal. I also particularly love duo sisal. Unlike the other grass cloth, which are treated with a colour wash, here the strands are dyed individually, and then we are reliant upon the hand weaver to pick out the different tones as they're weaving to give this beautiful shimmering effect. Finally, Quima is a variation of the Mexican agave plant, and it offers beautifully variegated, grassy strands, hand woven and then washed over with a chalky white. Then we have the paper weaves, which are based on Japanese traditional techniques, not dissimilar to the grass cloth process, but instead of botanical fibres, it's hand-woven paper ribbons which have been spun and subtly dyed a number of tones. First we have ori, which is woven using irregular shaped paper threads, which we keep in neutral tones and we contrast with coloured paper backing. I think the interplay between the yarns and the coloured backing adds a particular depth and tactility. Kami is also woven using irregular ribbons of paper, and it's been interspersed with an occasional fine linen thread, which just gives it an extra dimension and texture. Papier features spun paper yarns which are hand woven into a fabric-like texture with a subtle diagonal twill, and it's been coated in a broad palette of natural colours that have a refined chalky finish. With shifu, we took paper yarns of various thicknesses to create a beautifully irregular and open hand weave that contrasts subtly with the coloured paper backing. Gently textured, shifu is presented in a broad palette of natural tones. Finally, this collage. That's been a fascinating creative journey that combines aspects of the grass cloth with the Japanese paper weaves to create completely original wall coverings. And what I really love about them is that when you see this finished piece on the wall, that it's been through so many creative hands, quite literally, to get there. Network is a really striking design that features several handcrafted processes. Firstly, 3 types of Japanese paper are hand crumpled and then coloured by hand. Each square is then hand torn and embroidered and carefully positioned to create a dramatic visual effect. Anagram also involves several handcrafted processes. Hand crumpled paper is dyed, then lines are painted on by hand. The paper is then cut into strips and reassembled through a hand weaving technique and are deliberately offset to create a design of really subtle and complex layers. Panorama also features fascinating multi-layered processes. Strips of fine cotton gauze are mounted onto a coloured paper ground. Then an additional layer is applied on top to create a very subtle horizontal stripe. And finally, hand-plaited braids of banana bark are applied to add another dimension to this very distinctive design. Grid features coarse strands of abaca that have been hand-woven in a very open weave. They're then mounted on coloured paper and framed with finely cut strips of water hyacinth that's appliqued on top. The interplay between the paper, the open weave and the hyacinth strips creates a design that's both architectural yet organic. Tipi is a screen-printed grass cloth that combines a stencil-like graphic appeal with the silky sheen of our hand-woven abaca, which can also be used as the coordinating plane. Akata is a particular favourite of mine. The earthy texture and the subtle tones of hand-woven raffia provide the perfect backdrop for this screen-printed design of botanical and sinuous form. Our raffia wall covering can be used as the coordinating plane. Savannah uses a very intriguing technique. Firstly, meandering brushstrokes have been artfully reprinted onto paper and then overlaid with strands of sisal to create a wall covering that's both handcrafted, strikingly modern, and rich in natural textures. Our sisal works very well as the coordinating plane. Square cut is a multi-layered process. Firstly, strands of sisal are hand-woven to create an open weave and laminated onto a non-woven backing. This is cut into squares which are repositioned to create a stunning panel effect wall covering that is truly special. Alongside the wall coverings are 5 fabric collections. Crafted style meets relaxed minimalism in rhythm, with a variety of embroideries and weaves forming a well-curated collection inspired by West African textiles. An artful response to the evolution of outdoor living, the Veranda collection marks an impressive new chapter in outdoor fabrics. And Casual, a serene collection of relaxed linens, has been crafted to combine luxurious handle with suitability for upholstery. Jazz 3, a luxury silk blend, and Urbane, an incredibly soft cotton velvet, are reintroduced in broad new palettes, offering further versatility to Mark Alexandra's library of plains. It's very much part of our aesthetic to create textiles that convey a sense of the well-travelled, that draw inspiration from different cultures, but have the confidence to mix them in a way that's naturally evolved, not too coordinated. With rhythm, we've taken cues from West African textiles, and it respects its inspirational source, but at the same time meanders into something wholly original. It mixes vibrant multicoloured striés, linen embroideries with a soft geometry, a really characterful open weave sheer, and is anchored with a beautifully textured linen plane. It features a palette based on vegetable dye colours such as indigo, ochre, and deep browns and reds, as well as the neutral palette that Mark Alexandra is very well known for. Luxuriously crafted to create alluring drapes and upholstery, Casual is presented in a curated palette of soft neutrals and classic combinations of crisp white and indigo blue. Veranda is Mark Alexandra's collection of outdoor and easy care fabrics. The collection features all of the easy care characteristics expected in outdoor use in a coordinated collection of complementary weaves. Created using an innovative yarn, Veranda also offers an exclusive softness and aesthetic appeal that's usually only found in natural fibre products. Made from 100% solution-dyed acrylic, Teflon finishing also ensures that it's oil and water repellent, mould, stain and salt resistant. It has a high degree of colour fastness and it's breathable and washable. Our cotton velvet, Urbane, was first introduced in 2014 in a few shades. It is now being relaunched in a broad palette of over 25 colours. It offers the perfect combination of sophistication and modernity, Urbane is densely woven using the finest mercerized cotton yarn to create a luxuriously soft velvet with a silky appearance and the most exquisite touch. Suitable for both upholstery and drapes, the stain-repellent finish ensures practicality and versatility. Jazz was first launched in 2010 and it's one of my favourite fabrics. It's made from a combination of spun silk in the warp, which gives this glamour, and also a fine wool weft, which gives a suppleness to the drape. There is no finer drape as far as I'm concerned, and we're very, very pleased to introduce it now in a new broad range of about 25 colours. Thank you for joining us on the set of the photo shoot for the 2020 launch. The Mark Alexander team has put a huge amount of effort into creating this collection, and we're very, very proud of the results. I hope you enjoy presenting and working with these collections as much as we have creating them. We wish you the very best for the year ahead.